Just weeks after completing his mandatory military service, taehyung, otherwise known as BTS's V, appeared before the public in an unexpected moment that immediately grabbed the world's attention. The surprise increased when he was seen with the famous choreographer, Leejung Lee. This moment not only caused an uproar among BTS fans, but also sparked a stir among soldiers who followed V's footsteps during his service. The short footage, uploaded on the evening of June 25, 2025, shows a tall man wearing a black hat and a thick jacket, walking behind Leejung in an area that appears to be a studio lobby or private rehearsal room. Leejung smiled calmly at the camera, while the man behind her, believed to be Taehyung, simply lowered his head and gave a slight smile before turning around. Although his face was almost completely covered with a mask, the fans did not take long to conclude who the figure was. The characteristic aura, posture, to the manner of walking immediately convinced the army. It was V. Some fans even uploaded visual comparisons with old footage, proving that the man's body, gait, and even the curves of his ears are identical to Taehyung's. "Only Taehyung has that kind of aura," wrote one fan on X with confidence. Hashtags such as hashtag #TaehyungKimbali, hashtag Taehyung, and hashtag #LeejungLankamaru immediately dominated social media. Within hours, posts about this moment flooded TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Not a lot of speculation. Is this a sign of a comeback, secret project, or even a special collaboration? So far, neither Big Hit Music nor Leejung Lee have issued an official statement. Leejung remains active on social media, sharing reposts from fans, but has not touched on the topic regarding the viral video. This silence only added to the curiosity of the public. Many suspect it's part of a covert promotional strategy, a clever way to spark enthusiasm without announcing anything directly. For information, Leejung Lee previously collaborated with Taehyung in early 2024 while promoting V's solo song titled FRI, Yendi. Their collaboration in the dance challenge was a viral success on TikTok and received widespread praise for their cohesiveness and captivating visual aesthetics. Since then, fan requests for the two to collaborate again have never subsided. With this background, the appearance of the two of them this time was not just an ordinary meeting. Many believe that Taehyung and Leejung are preparing for something big. It could be a video performance, a visual project that combines dance and fashion, two elements that have been V's main strength so far. He's not just a musician. He is a visual artist, said a fan from Thailand. If V and Leejung Lee join forces again, the result will be amazing. Furthermore, rumors say that the agency is putting together a comeback schedule for BTS members who have completed military service. With J-Hope and V now free to move, the right time for massive content releases seems to be approaching. Some fans suspect that V may be performing in a year-end music event, while others hope there will be documentaries or experimental visual projects that highlight V's artistic side after the military. May this be the beginning of a new era of Taehyung, a Filipino soldier wrote with hope. He has an unparalleled creative vision, and Leejung is the perfect partner. What is clear is that no matter what they are preparing for, the enthusiasm of fans has already touched its peak. Social media is still buzzing with theories, predictions, and of course prayers for good news to come soon. And if that's true, then it's not just the return of V. This is a celebration of an artist who is now ready to start a new chapter with fresh passion and creativity. Amid the frenzy of speculation, one thing that seems to be overlooked is how the public longs for Taehyung's presence not just as a global idol, but as a figure who has always managed to bridge music, visual art, and personal emotional depth into one unified work. 2 years in the military, although quiet from the spotlight, is like a pause that gives space for the figure of V to transform quietly. And perhaps if it is true that many parties, he is now ready to show the results of that long contemplation through his new projects in various fan forums, both domestic and international. Discussions about the brief sighting developed in a more philosophical direction. Many believe that Leejung Lee's presence in the first moment V appeared to the public was not a coincidence. Leejung is known as a creative figure who is able to translate emotional narratives into dance movements and poetic visual framing. If Taehyung wants to come back with something more than just music, then Leejung is a reasonable choice. Imagine if they made a short dance film set in a post-military setting, full of symbolism and inner reflection, wrote one commenter in the Korean Army community. V has facial expressions that can speak without even a single word, and Leejung can make it a moving art. Back on the industry side, some South Korean entertainment watchers are starting to connect the dots behind the scenes. Since early June, several rental studios in the Mapo and Gangnam districts have been monitored for closed bookings by independent production teams. There was no confirmation, but some of the staff interviewed anonymously mentioned there were major artists who came several times, with heavily guarded schedules and limited access. But on the other hand, there's also speculation that this project could be part of the celebration of 10 years of V's solo career, which will fall in the next 2 years. Although it sounds far-fetched, enthusiasts know very well that large projects are often designed well in advance. Moreover, if indeed the concept combines several creative elements across disciplines such as fashion, installation art, to live performances, but among all that hope and conjecture, there is still a small minority who choose to remain skeptical. They remind that the video does not necessarily mean anything. Sometimes celebrities just meet. It doesn't mean they will immediately collaborate again, wrote one user from Japan. But of course, if that were true, we would all be at the forefront of support. Regardless of which is true, one thing is certain. Taehyung's appearance in the public sphere is not just a matter of virality or momentary furor. It's a signal that something is moving, that the artist is walking towards a new chapter in his life and career, and that the trip, as before, will be something that simply cannot be missed. Meanwhile, in the offices of major entertainment media, editors are preparing if at any time there is an impromptu press release from Big Hit Music. Entertainment reporters stood guard near the dance studio, hoping to capture an additional piece of information, either from the staff, the driver, or perhaps the audience, from Taehyung's faint smile that appeared again behind the black window glass of the van. And the army? They remained as they always were, waiting in silence, looking for clues from the slightest detail, and united in a common hope that when all was revealed, it would be something worth remembering. Because for true fans, One Step V is not just a movement. It was a new chapter in a story they've been following for a long time, and one they continue to support until the very end. While rumors were growing wild, the atmosphere among Army Global seemed to turn into a kind of collective waiting ritual. Not a few have begun to make an unofficial countdown to the day of the announcement, although there is no exact date yet. Social media timelines are now filled with fan art, concept speculation, and even long threads discussing the possible hidden meaning of the color of the hat worn by V in the video. Black, a symbol of silence? Or maybe the beginning of a visual narrative that will soon unfold. In the international fan community, a new term appeared that began to be widely used: era taehyung, a merger of names that not only shows the collaboration of two artists, but also represents the expectation of something deeper than just plain pop music. Taehyung is not just a creative duet, but a new narrative that is being written. Interestingly, many longtime fans noted that this pattern is reminiscent of the way BTS introduced their major projects in the past. It starts with an accidental appearance, followed by a clip cut, an ambiguous visual snippet, and finally a full disclosure in an almost always unexpected time. No wonder, then, that many now treat the short video as the prelude to something much bigger. That on the industrial side, professionals welcome this possibility with great optimism. In a brief interview on a local soul radio talk show, a music critic called V one of the artists with the best visual sensitivity of the current generation of idols. He continued, "Taehyung has a very personal approach to art. He doesn't just want to perform, he wants to deliver. If this new project does happen, the impact could be wider than just the music scene." Many analysts believe that such a work could open up a new path for idols to express themselves in a multidisciplinary way, combining music, dance, fashion, and cinematography in one whole artistic package. And Taehyung, with his track record and unique character, is considered the most powerful candidate to start that new wave.